Do you think the Eagles have a chance to beat the Seahawks this weekend?
No. Let's be honest about what happened so far this season. I think what Carson Wentz did in that game against the Cowboys was outstanding and one of the more impressive things we've seen all season, considering the circumstances. I understand that the Cowboys are not a good football team, and all the teams that they beat towards the end of the year, none of them are in the playoffs because they're not good football teams. However, you can argue that the Eagles aren't a good football team either. At least the talent isn't. The talent that is left on the field for the Eagles is so depleted. So I think that Carson Wentz gets a pass if he loses this game. I've been someone who's been hugely critical of Carson Wentz because when we all thought he was an MVP level player, that was with a team that was so talented that it went on to win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles without him. So that was a lot of people around him helping to support him. And we haven't seen him lift the team around him until these past several weeks where he's done it. So I think that as far as I'm concerned, he's answered all the questions that he was capable of answering for me this season. If they lose in this game, I give them a pass. They don't have any receivers. Even the defense, they're down on corners. They're down on defensive linemen. They're down. I wrote down, it's like 8 guys that are out. His best receiver, Ertz, got a cracked rib. And anybody who's had that, and I think they said like a lacerated spleen or something. You know what? Painkillers can't fix that.
Put some dirt on it.
What kind of dirt you put in there? What color is that dirt? Because it's not regular dirt. It's not going to fix you.
So he gets a pass from you.
If they lose this game, absolutely.
But he can't get a pass because he's playing a team that's limping to the finish line just like he is. They called beast mode out. Where was beast mode at? Man versus Wild or something like that? So the fact that, beast mode came back, I think that, their inability to run the ball, they really don't have a great receiving core. Russell Wilson has really been the best player in the league for this year. I didn't think he was capable of doing it. Post Legion of Boom, I didn't think once you pay him that much money, he'll be able to carry a roster that wasn't as talented as the ones that he inherited when he came in the league. But I think if Carson Wentz can't pull it off in his house, them limping to the finish line, coming all the way across town, and he can't, capitalize in the red zone, third down efficiency, all the things in which they're pretty strong at, then I think it has to fall on his shoulders because he's taking a big piece of the, they put a lot of cheese on this taco over there in Philadelphia.
A lot of cheese on a cheesesteak, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Tito's a pass.
Yeah, I would give him a pass as well. There's a ton of numbers that should suggest Philadelphia should win this game with West Coast teams coming east and how they're playing, all these different things. But 12 of his 23 passes that he completed last week were to players who weren't drafted. Like, they don't have any talent around him on the perimeter. And so I watch him play. He performed in the big moment against the Cowboys. He's gotten it done. He got them into the playoffs. That's a huge win in and of itself because essentially that Cowboys game to me was a playoff game. The Seattle team is better. Russell Wilson, I think, is still a better player than Carson Wentz at this point in time. But Wentz has showed me a lot in the last half of this season when people started all falling apart. Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Deshaun Jackson. He said he's going to come back if they win the game. But, they don't have any of those guys right now.
I think Bart's point about the Seahawks limping in
Michael Kendrick. ACL last week.
That's a valid one. And excuse me, frankly, Seahawks fans hate me because I've been saying all year that they're really not that good. It's just that Russell goes Russell in the fourth quarter and gets them wins. So I understand that you could win against that team. But let's go to what you need to be a starting quarterback. What do you need to be a good starting quarterback? You need a good offensive line. You need a good running game, and you need a go-to receiver. All those, Lane Johnson hurt. Even Miles Sanders, who wasn't even the plan to be the starting back in their backfield, he's hurt. Alshon Jeffrey out. Aguilar out. And Ertz got a broken or a fractured rib. Like what?
Boston Scott, though.
Yeah, exactly.
No relation.
Yeah, exactly. So, I can't hold this against him. I feel like you have to give him a pass when anytime you say, in order for a quarterback to succeed, everyone names at least one, if not all of those things I just named, and he doesn't have any of them. Well, at least Russell has some of them. You can point to his receivers. His offensive line is not great. His running backs are a bit injured, but at least you can point to Lockett and Metcalf and say, he's got somebody to throw the ball to.
And so one of the things that's not being talked about at all is the guy I think who's been probably the best player on the Eagles the last couple of weeks has been Miles Sanders. He's been absolutely phenomenal.
He's hurt.
Like you said, he's nicked up. He isn't practicing. Now, I think he's going to play. But for them to be able to have success, Miles Sanders is going to need to be 100%, and he's not going to be that. Him limping around is he's their most explosive guy, and he is their running back. Like if I was Seattle, I'm double teaming him. I'm double teaming Goddard. Like that's all they got.
Man.
I understand what you're saying.
This is football, man. Take the turtle shot. Take the turtle shot and shut up, man.
Oh my
Take him to the
gosh.
back and make him understand.
What is this, 1950?
Hey, you wouldn't be allowed to coach anymore, man.
Everybody is hurt.
Their kid
Well, you know I'm a little league coach. I'm blitzing the hell out of 12-year-olds. You should see it. It's awesome. It's awesome. I tell you, but everybody's hurt, right? What makes the great quarterbacks is they elevate the play of the players that they have, right?
He did it.
And he needs to continue to do it because it's not like he's going against a healthy team. He's going against another team that's injured as well. And he's going to have to do by any means necessary. If he has to put the team on his back, he needs to put the team on his back. That's why they gave him the large contract, because he said that he was a franchise quarterback, an MVP caliber quarterback. He's young in the process. He needs to find a way to win
He just put the
game.
team on his back.
We're talking about Wentz, and we've talked about Wentz a lot, but let me ask you this, Bart. Do you think that the Eagles have any chance to beat the Seahawks in this playoff game?
I mean, when they matched up against each other earlier this season, it was, 17-9? I think really what the Eagles do well is that they're top 10 in red zone efficiency, meaning when they get in the red zone, they score. I mean, this Seattle team is going to really struggle to put points up and be able to go on long drives. It's going to be up to Wentz to play the game, right? You got to do the little things. And, that's what separates Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, because they do the little things. Their football acumen is so high, right? They don't need to be able to have great players to be able to manipulate the line of scrimmage, to be able to catch and get the cheap stuff. Catching guys on hard counts, catching guys with 12 men, changing in and out.
I listed all the things, and I left one thing off that a quarterback would need. A good defense. So you're trying to tell me that you wouldn't give him a pass, and you never really answered the question. It's like you expect them to win this weekend. You never really answered it straightforward.
I can see them winning.
Who's a quarterback that you would put in this situation that you would expect to succeed? Not even Patrick Mahomes would I expect to succeed if his best offensive lineman is out, if all his defense is depleted, if his two top receivers are hurt, and his running back is hurt. What more can you ask for somebody? Patrick Mahomes is possibly the best quarterback we've ever seen. We drop him in this situation, I would expect him to lose. There's nobody out there that I would expect to win. So how can I expect that of Wentz?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube.
For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app.
And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.